What if your connection to the spirit world was closer than you think? What if your unique way of seeing the world is the key to connecting the two worlds? Welcome to a Sanctuary for the Soul podcast. Join us as we delve into the heart of spiritual development, from the practical guidance and mediumship to the best way to live a heart-based life.
We are here to facilitate healing, awaken your intuition, and help you navigate your path with confidence. Speaking from our own deep journeys, we've learned to experience the world and the spirit world with a unique sensitivity. This is our space to share that perspective with you. Let's explore the connection together.
So our passion, well, one of our passions, energy healing.
One of
Yeah.
many.
Yeah. I just think it's been amazing how we've just fallen into the opportunity to work together with people after that experience with your dad.
That was, yeah, that was really unexpected. I've got to admit, I mean, like, I know that stuff can happen, and I know that we can, do stuff if we kind of have that intention to make it happen. But it still really surprised me when I think back to, you having the idea, us saying to Dad, "Do you want to, have a healing?" And like how the whole thing transpired. It still blows my mind. That's one of the more memorable experiences.
Yeah,
I
it
think
was,
he's chuffed with it.
yeah. Um, it was, yeah. And I think when I think about, why did that work so well? What was it about it? And I think, well, one, we work very equally.
Yeah.
So there's no competition,
Yeah.
trust each other. But I think also your dad really trusts us and was really receptive. So it
Yeah.
was like the perfect recipe, wasn't it, really?
I think it's a big, it was a definite learning experience from the point of view that it's easy to get caught up in, right, oh, I need to know what's wrong. I need to, do X or do Y. And you kind of get caught up in a process when I suppose it is more basic. If you have like an intention to work from a place of love, I know that sounds a bit woo woo, doesn't it? But work from a place of love. And obviously that's what I'm doing, is my dad.
Yeah.
He was really open to it. And I think actually his mindset to say, I am open to the idea that Liz has had, and we're all going to meet on Zoom. And it didn't matter that we weren't in the same room. I think that will make a difference. So, whoever watches this and you think to yourself, but I live in a different country, and so how is that going to work? That's not an obstacle, is it?
No, not at all. It, yeah. Well, I mean, do you want to mention what happened quickly?
Well, the idea wasn't mine. It was Liz's, her idea. You get a message. I've had an idea. Shall we offer your dad healing? And you're like, right, okay, yeah, that's fine. Let's do it. All right. So it's all good. So Liz, you messaged me and said, shall we offer your dad healing? So I sent him a message. Dad, do you want some energy healing? We'll meet on Zoom. I think it was on a Sunday, wasn't it? Let's meet on a Sunday.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
So I then say to him, do you want to have some healing? And he says, yeah. So we meet up on the Sunday, and we kind of have a little chat beforehand and say, what is it that you would like? How do you want to do this? And we came to the conclusion, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed to be like, let's just put it in their hands and see what happens. And so
Yeah.
I think, what did we give it? Maybe 25 minutes of actually that time whereby played a little bit of music. You're just kind of relaxing. Dad's really relaxed, and he's really chilled. And then, we brought him back and we said, how did you find it? And he said, I felt on top of the world. And you were like, wow. I'm thinking, hello, this has gone a bit better than I expected, because I didn't really know what to expect. But then you're kind of comparing notes in a way. And I know that when I perceived it, it seemed to be very much like, I was aware of, I think it was like emotional aspects, impressions and thoughts that seemed to be shared to me via spirit. But what happened for you?
So the first time it was very much like that, very
Yeah, yeah.
emotional,
Mm,
psychological.
mm.
And then when we agreed that it felt right to offer him another session, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that was when it became it seemed more of a physical healing, didn't it?
That's right. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, no, it did. But, I think the part of you that wants to know, I wonder what's happened. I wonder
Yeah.
what they've done. That's the bit that we've almost got to try and suppress, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're kind of thinking, do I need to know? Well, the answer is
Mm.
no, you don't. All right. So let the spirit world do what they need to do. Let the energy flow to where it needs to flow. But you share. You share about what kind of happened once he'd had the second session and then went into hospital. So I suppose actually I need to backtrack to the beginning and say why we offered healing in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole reason is Dad had messaged me and said that he had to go to the hospital, and he'd had a scan, and the consultant or the surgeon, whoever, had said that he had like a coffee bean size stone in his bladder in the urethra wall. So they said because of the proximity to obviously like the tubes and that go in and out your bladder, they said that he needed to move it or needed to remove it. So that's why he went to hospital. So do you want to carry on from there?
Yeah. And so that was when we decided to
Mm.
offer him
Yeah, yeah.
over 2 sessions.
Mm.
And I was away, wasn't I, at the
Yeah.
time when
Yeah,
he
I think
had,
you were in Portugal, weren't you?
when he had
Yeah,
his
you
op.
were.
And oh, that was it. It got cancelled, didn't it? And then
Yes.
it had got back
Mm.
and he had his operation and you messaged me
Yeah,
saying, that they had prepped for the operation and, started, and when they'd begun, that the stone was no longer there.
yeah.
And so when he'd come, back out of the anaesthetic, the nurse had said to him, "Well, someone's been praying for you."
Yeah, yeah, they did. They did. I mean, that was mad. Like, because I remember Dad saying to me, um, they didn't find anything, and I'm like, huh? You know, what sort of surgeon doesn't find the reason that he went in to open you up?
Yeah.
And just to try and paint a picture, it was they're saying that there's this coffee bean size stone that he couldn't pass naturally. All right,
Mm,
because it was attached. Firstly, the size of it, but also it was attached to the urethra wall.
mm,
Now, I'm not a doctor, but I've got to assume that that means it's not going to go anywhere.
yeah,
So then when he says they opened him up, the surgeon checked inside his bladder, checked the tubes going in and out, nothing there at all.
mm,
And then the nurse makes that comment, someone has been praying for you.
mm.
Now, he didn't, obviously, I said to him at the time, I said, did you tell the nurse about the healing that you'd had? He said, no, I didn't say anything, which is fine. I mean, you imagine how crazy that would be. But, and then I messaged you and said, what the nurse had said or what the doctors didn't find. And, and you carry on from there. What did you say to me?
Well, I, on the second healing session,
Yeah, yeah.
had just intuitively known that
Mm.
when they opened him up, it wouldn't be there. But it was just such a flash of just, you get just that
Yeah,
intuitive know.
yeah. Mm.
But I would never say because, well, that
Of
just
course
sounds
not.
really egotistical. So I was just waiting, excited to see if that really was, the right thing that I'd heard. And when
Well,
it was, I just felt so grateful really because and I
mm,
think that's when we come back to the fact it's not us.
yeah.
It's the trust we place, the loving space we create, the fact that your dad, was really receptive. And
Mm.
then we just allowed whatever needed to happen. And it sounds so airy fairy, but
It
it
does,
actually
doesn't it?
is. getting yourself into that space. And well, it's continued. I think we've been really lucky that we've had opportunities where other people have asked us
Yeah.
work like that with them.
Yeah, I
And
mean, yeah,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, I think there's something about the combination as well, because quite often we'll complement each other. So I might say, oh, I was really aware of psychological and emotional
Yeah.
aspects, whereas sometimes you might say, actually, oh, well, I was really aware of physical. And then what we found, didn't we, that we'd swap sometimes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
without knowing.
Well, this is it, and it's kind of like, you think to yourself, if you go in there with like a preconceived idea about, I need to know all of these different things, pen
Yeah,
dropping on the floor, then maybe in some way we're hindering the possibilities of the spirit world. Because I guess they're going to say, well, the person that walks in today is going to be different to the person that walks in the next day.
yeah,
So, like, we worked with another person, and she'd been having terrible issues with going up and down stairs because of injuries that she'd got to her legs. And even after the healing, that we gave her, and you're just going into that space, you kind of let that energy flow, and
yes,
you pick up senses and the rest of it. But then she said, well, I could move up and down the stairs,
yeah,
on my legs without going down on my bum for the first time in weeks and weeks or months. And, you know, maybe it was coincidence, but
yeah,
maybe it wasn't, because we went in there with an intention to say to spirit, um, let's work with this person and please do whatever you can do.
hmm,
All right. And I know there'll be skeptics that out there and go, well, maybe it was the power of belief or whatever. But maybe that plays a part in it. Maybe the power of your belief is part of
yeah.
the healing process.
And their trust as well.
Right.
And it comes back to, does it really matter how it happened? It happened, and it's a really good
Absolutely.
outcome for that person.
Because I think if we always approach things with like everything is scientific, it needs to be proved or disproved, or there needs to be a method, then it kind of eliminates um, the spiritual or mediumistic ways in which stuff can happen. I don't imagine that these tribesmen in the Kalahari or in
Mm,
North America or South America, I really don't feel that they're worried about the scientific proof of X,
mm,
Y, and Z happening. I
mm,
think that they just have a technique, they have knowledge, they have understanding, they have connection and belief in those that guide them, and
mm.
they may give them all different names, but they're connecting to this power, this sense of there is something greater than us. And I think
Yeah.
we're just doing the same. We might call ourselves energy healers or mediums, but
Mm.
our thoughts and our love for what we're doing, surely that has to have a positive effect if we're using it with the right intention. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Yeah. And do you know what it makes me think? A
Hmm.
really important point to make is
What's that?
that, healing doesn't always mean cure.
Yeah. Big.
And I was thinking, as you were speaking then about that, I was thinking the importance of, actually, that's why we need to be receptive to,
Yeah.
whatever is for that person's highest good, or
Yeah.
is most attainable in that moment, because there's so many factors in terms of people's lives, and what their path forward is, that
Yeah.
we can't be in any way saying, this outcome will happen or that outcome, and
Yeah.
it doesn't always mean a cure, does it?
Well, it doesn't. And I think that also helps in my mind, at least the way I'm thinking about it now, is we can maybe move out of this ego driven mindset that, oh, look at me, I'm Andy the healer and I shall cure you. And
Yeah,
you go, no, you're Andy the healer. And your job is to allow spirit to heal this person to whatever degree they can be healed. All right.
yeah,
And we know that everyone at some point, as far as we understand, is going to pass the spirit. All right. I don't know anyone that's eternal. So if we know that that is going to happen, if it was about curing every ill that everyone had, I think that would just be such a grandiose and egotistical way of looking at it, that I think you always have to be honest with someone and say, look, what we're doing is we are connecting to spirit to bring forward healing to the extent that you are able to be healed. But we are not here to cure, to promise cures, and to make out we're the best things in sliced bread.
No.
it's, it's got to be
It
like that, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. And,
Mm.
I think that's also part of our desire to teach other people, isn't it?
Yeah,
And to bring in, the experiences we've had and the understanding we've developed from various experiences and talking about things to now actually support other people to develop very uniquely. Would you?
yeah. But I think because I mean I don't know about you, Liz, but what I hate is being put in a box where someone tells me to be like someone else. I
Yeah,
hate
well,
that.
I'm the
That
same.
just drives me mad. I just want to go, just switch
Yeah.
off, get up, walk out the room, and just think, right, no, that's not for me. I
Mm,
think, look, our job isn't to like create someone in our own image, is it? It's to be there and say, look, here's what we know. Here's all the mistakes we've made. Here's
mm,
all the things that we wish we hadn't have done. And the reason we're telling you is because we don't want you to make the mistake that we made. All right. And here's the things that really worked. And then
yeah.
we say, well, you connect to your guides and then come back and you tell me how you experienced it.
Mm,
So just allow Andy to be Andy, Liz to be Liz, and Joe Blogs to be Joe Blogs.
mm.
So, sounded like a rant.
So perhaps the sort of underlying thing from everything we've
Mm,
said,
yeah.
it's a return to the heart of who you are
Yeah.
and placing your trust, and being in a place of love, isn't it?
I mean, I've said it loads of times and, we've had conversations about it. But look, if you're working from a place of love, then it doesn't really matter how experienced or inexperienced you are. Because I think
No.
what the spirit world want, if we're talking about working that way, is they want someone that is compassionate, that is doing things from a place of love, that is
Yeah.
connecting with love to love for the purpose of whatever that should be.